friends, and welcome back to my crafty space. My name is Crystal, and in today's video we are going to be working on Project Life week 33. So for this week I chose to use the Embrace the Mess kit from Feed Your Craft. So this was one that just came out on the 15th of August. It is sold out in the shop, however you can still purchase it digitally. I am going to be using that as my story lens. It's like kind of a story lens because it's mostly what I have in there that is still really like sentiment based is just the this week card and then this chores card over here. So I did fill both of those out based on their prompt. But other than that, most of my other journaling cards I just created myself on some just plain white cardstock. And my idea for these is to mask off a portion of it and do some repeat stamping up at the top for my titles. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I will put you guys on fast forward as I am putting this together. And then once we have it all completed, we'll slow back down and close out of this video. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so to get started on this spread, the first thing I did was to set aside everything that did not need stamping and just pull out my stamping stuff to get that all done first. So I'm going to start with my title card here. I really like using the cards that have that blank spot at the bottom for adding my week number and my date on there. I just think that it's a really nice spot to house that information. So I went into my stash and grabbed out these label stickers from Studio Calico. They are the orange ones and just went really nice with the colors of this kit. I also have the Feed Your Craft weeks to months stamp. It is no longer available, but it's one of the number stamps that I like to use a lot. I think I only have 2 stamp sets that has wow, you guys can't talk. I only have 2 stamp sets that has the word week on it. One from Allie Edwards and one from Feed Your Craft, and both of them are older. I definitely need to invest in some other stamp sets that say week because I like to add that onto my spreads. Anyway, so I used that orange label sticker to add the dates, and I just added the full word August, the date, like the number, and then 2020 I did sideways just because it wouldn't fit all the way across, and I think that that looks just fine. And then for the week number, I had a major faux pas and stamped this backwards. In fact, I couldn't even decide if I had stamped it backwards. So I had to like stamp it the correct way on my off sheet there and like stare at it for a minute and decide like, wait, which one is a 3 and which one is an E? Like I'm so confused. Yes, I stamped it backwards. So what I did is I went into my stash and grabbed a strip of sticker paper, just white matte sticker paper. I'm going to stamp my week title on there instead, so week and the number 33, and then just trim that and add it on top of the mistake. And it's totally fine. You can barely even tell that anything is covering it up. So for the week number, the 33, I used one of Allie Edwards Crafters inks. I believe it's called Rose Garden. And then this one is called Olympia, and it's also Allie Edwards. So those ones were a bit muted, like a muted pink and a muted like turquoise type color, green turquoise, which both went nicely with the colors included in this kit. So that is why I chose to go with those this time. So I'm just going to trim these up. This is my Tonic Studio 6-inch trimmer, which I love because I can just keep it right on my desk in like a container. And when I need to trim something smaller, I can just pull that right out. Okay, so now we're going to stick that down, and once that's on there, I will pull over some of my puffy heart stickers from not Studio Calico, they're from Feed Your Craft, and add those to the title card. These are also no longer in stock, but Elise did just release a new shapes puffy sticker set that also includes hearts. So if you're looking for some really awesome puffy hearts, I always recommend Feed Your Craft. So now that I've got the title card done, we're going to move on to the journaling cards. So for all of these, I'm going to be using this really thick washi tape. I believe it's 1.5 inches thick. And I will like put it on my skin a couple of times to take away some of the stick, because in the past I have not done that and just stuck the tape on there to mask it off. And then when I go to take the tape off later, it pulls off part of the card or the journaling or whatever it is. So I make sure to take off some of the stick before putting it down. Then I went ahead and masked it right on top of my journaling, like leaving a tiny little bit of space between where the stamping will be and the journaling. And then I put a sheet of paper behind my card there so I could go ahead and stamp off of the card, which I always like to do, and not worry about getting ink all over my pad there. Now, the black pad that you see behind everything there, that is called the Sizzix Stamper Secret Weapon. I have not, so they still show this one on Amazon, but they show it as out of stock basically. But I did just recently see a smaller one, so I'm wondering, I need to look at the dimensions of that and see if that would be something that would be comparable for this. I do like the bigger one, and hopefully they will bring it back in stock soon, because it's a really awesome tool for stamping. So the repeat stamp that I did there was a vacuum. And the reason I chose to stamp a vacuum as my background, which honestly most of it's going to get covered up anyway, is because that story I'm telling is about having to vacuum my house because it was just or at least my living room carpet, because it was just getting out of hand. My children don't understand, eat in the kitchen. So they're always bringing their stuff into the living room, which is right next to our kitchen, and spilling crumbs everywhere. And I have a pet peeve with dirty floors. I can handle dust and stuff. I just can't handle dirty floors. I don't know why. So I went and got my vacuum, and my son hates the vacuum. So that is the story, and I'll tell you guys more about it here in a second. So that second card I just did, I did a sideways repeat stamping, and I also did second generation. So that's when you stamp it once and then you stamp it again. So it's a little bit more muted. That allowed me to have a little bit more depth to the stamping. I don't know. I just felt like doing it. And I think it says this is the worst thing ever, or something like that. My most hated thing. It's something like that. Then this one right here, the stamp says all day, every day. And when you stamp it kind of brick pattern, which is what my initial thought was, it left some white gaps. So I decided to do the second generation stamping for that as well, and just layer it right on top. So I think it turned out pretty cool there. The last one that I'm going to do, actually, nope, that's a lie. I have some embellishments I want to make here. So this card here that says chores, or something what does this say? What's the around? Something to do this week, chores to do this week, things to do this week, something like that. Anyway, chores. I wanted to stamp a couple of those little icons from the stamp set, fussy cut them out, and use them on that card just as some added decoration. And then this one is just a tiny bit of journaling that's going to be on a layered card, and I just added today looks like this. So now I'm going to start placing everything back where it goes, and while I'm doing that, anytime I come across one of those little vellum pieces, I'm going to stick it into my Xyron machine, and that is going to turn it into a sticker, which makes them really easy to work with. For this card here, this says time to get busy. I decided to cut it apart, and I will fussy cut out all of the words and add those to the picture of my cat, which I also thought was super ironic. So Mr. Dibs, we added his cat tower, or we didn't add it, we just moved it so that it's over with all of our school stuff. So he likes to sit up on top of it, and it's like you can see in the picture there of our school area where he's laying on it, and he put his head up on the counter where I've got a clock, a learn to tell time clock. So I've got his face there right next to the clock, and I thought it was ironic to put time to get busy there since, the clock is there. I don't know. It made sense to me. So yes, we're just going to start placing everything around, and I'm going to be fussy cutting a bunch of things out. So I did the time to get busy. I'm also going to fussy cut out this one that says hello weekend, and then the icons that we stamped out earlier. Oh, I forgot to mention on the card with the vacuums that I added a Kelly Perky label. It's just an older one from my stash, and stamped, this is my everyday messy, something like that life, which made sense. Made sense to me. So, yes, we're going to do that. We're going to add puffy heart stickers here as well. And while I am sticking everything down, I can talk you guys through the pictures here and why I chose them. So I've got the picture of the homeschool area, which I use, that's honestly going to be kind of like a repeated area that's going to be in my project life here, because we're going to be spending a lot of time in this area. But I took a picture of that one because I loved that Dibs was a part of the picture. So he's in the school area. It was cute. I liked it. And then I put the where did the weekend go label on there. So this week we were working on getting ready. Like, I was working on getting everything ready for the schedule and our curriculum and everything, because we started homeschooling on Monday this week. So I needed to be ready to go after the weekend was over. So I spent most of the week getting everything ready, but we also had like a million appointments all in one week. I don't know why we had so many, but we did. So I had a dentist appointment on Tuesday, and then Izzy has this giant wart on the bottom of her foot, like in the middle of the bottom of her foot. So we took her to the dermatologist, or I did, and they put medicine on her foot and then like had to duct tape it, and then it blistered all up, and it's not a fun experience. So she was in like excruciating pain, according to her. So I'm going to take her at her word and say that it was probably excruciating pain, and like refused to walk for an entire day. So we had to just carry her around and baby the heck out of her, but that's okay. I understand. And hopefully that thing will not have, because they're like, you might have to have 8 treatments. Oh God, I don't know what I'm going to do if we have to have 8 treatments. She's never going to go to the doctors again. She hates it. Anyway, so that's that picture. And then the bottom one where you see Izzy reading to Jonah. So that is the remainder of that vacuum story. So Jonah hates vacuums, hates them. Like, if he sees me carrying the vacuum, he starts crying. Like, he hates it so much. And I just couldn't stand it. So normally I have to vacuum when they're not home, because he just is traumatized by the vacuum. But I just couldn't handle it. So I was like, Izzy, I'm going to vacuum, because I just can't handle this. I got to do this. So I got it out, and of course he started screaming. And so she's like the best big sister. She pulled him aside into the corner, brought him his blanket and his Fox. Like, they went into like this little safe space. And then she brought over a book to read to him while I was vacuuming. And it just, like, you guys, my heart just like exploded. It was so thoughtful and sweet of her. Like, it was so sweet. So that is that picture and the story. And then the one right next to that of Izzy in like 3 different poses is the day she got her hair cut. So that was on Friday. We went and got her hair cut, gave her some bangs, because she's got hair that grows forward. So her face is always got hair in it. Like, she can't ever see. So we gave her bangs, and it looks awesome, and she loves it, and it was great. Then we've got some pictures from the weekend, trying out Aaron and Alex's new beer. And then this one I'm working on right here is them brewing the next one in their, in their list. So they're brewing an Imperial Stout right now, and we are super pumped for that. It should be ready by, I think, like November maybe. So definitely fall, which is, it makes sense. And then the last couple pictures are just Izzy and her friend playing outside in their costumes, because they decided to do that on an 80-degree day, and it was just, it was funny, and they had a blast. And then my father-in-law teaching Izzy to play softball. And then, you guys, that is it for this week. All right, you guys, that finishes this spread for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I was putting this one together. If you enjoyed this process video, I would love a thumbs up down below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button while you're there as well, so you can see all of my future crafty videos. If you guys have any questions about any of the techniques or products or anything that I did today, please let me know in those comments down below. And let me know if you have kids that are going back to school and what are your school plans for this year. You guys know that we're homeschooling, which is unexpected, but you know what? I'm actually really excited for it. I am so curious to hear what your plans are for the fall. All right. Well, I will be back again on Friday this week with my next Story Kit Crush project. And then on Saturday, I will be doing a traveler's notebook again. So hopefully I will see you guys back here then. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and I will see you in the next video. Bye now.